Cinemajaw is sponsored by Overcast, an independent podcast app that embraces the open world of podcasting instead of locking it down. No exclusives, no premium content, no paywalls. Just a great podcast app for everyone. Get it for free in the App Store. And we thank them for their support. You're listening to Cinemajaw, the greatest movies podcast ever, recorded on location at Cards Against Humanity in Chicago. My name is Matt Kay, and with me is...
Rye, the movie guy, and sitting behind the glass inside the fish tank is Fill Me In Phil.
How's it going, guys?
This week on Cinemajaw, Matt, I ask you for a secret handshake. I ask you for a password. That's the only way you're getting my top 5 movies about secret societies.
Oh, okay. Well, I just so happen to know this handshake here.
This is a podcast. They can't see what you're doing with your
well, we
hands.
just shook our hands in this very special way.
It looked really strange what you were doing
Well,
there.
did I get it right? I mean, am I in?
I guess.
Thank you. I studied that for weeks. For weeks.
You-
My hands actually hurt.
You're an I guess, you know. Am I in? Everybody in the club at that point is like, yeah, I guess.
It's
Let
funny
Matt
because
Kay
my
in.
name is actually Matt, I guess, K. I always wondered where that came
Hey,
from.
we're doing our top 5 movies about secret societies.
Yeah, this is actually kind of cool.
We're going to be talking some John Wick, and it comes up in John Wick that there is a whole secret society of assassins.
This sort of thing fascinates me. I mean, John
me
Wick
too.
is a little silly and fun, but there are some really serious movies that explore this.
Well, whenever it pops up in the movie, that element of a secret society where sometimes they got to travel to a hotel that only certain people use or they go underground, I love that. It's so fascinating to me.
Fascinating.
And I do believe some of it, to an extent, exists. I mean, not to the...
Oh, sure.
Not so Hollywoodized that we see in so many movies, but it's still a very fun topic.
I just went to a Masonic memorial service at a Masonic temple in Chicago. And yeah, it exists. They're mostly older gentlemen in fezzes. But yeah, secret societies are real.
Are you part of any?
No. I mean, unless you count, like, I was a Cub Scout. Is that really a secret society?
No.
It's got its own handshake.
What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. Well, are you?
No.
Phil? Any secret societies in your life? Any that you can discuss on Cinemajaw?
Don't worry about it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I
Phil's
knew
probably,
we shouldn't have went there.
Yeah.
And did you see the look he gave us?
He's probably in a few,
Something really weird going on with that guy.
for sure.
Oh, man. Besides that, we have a lot more going on here, don't we, Phil?
Oh, you know it. We are going eye for an eye on, like Ryan said, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
And we have a review of the new Netflix original, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
What a title. More on that in a second. We have no guest this week, and you probably heard us, JawHead, say that if you answer the riddle correctly, the monthly riddle that we do, we give you a chance to take Matt Kay on in trivia. And in March, Sean Verma won, and he said, hey, I want to take Matt Kay on, and not only that, I want to bet Matt Kay a bottle of alcohol.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to start like a trend. Everyone's going to want to bet me.
So behind the scenes, these emails went back and forth between myself, Matt, and Sean about what bottle of alcohol everybody should put up to the table. Matt came up with something, and Sean. So we'll discuss that. But we are going to call Sean later in the podcast, and we are going to play title character movie trivia.
Sounds good.
So
I'm ready.
think of movies that have the title character in the title itself of the movie, like John Wick. Okay,
Got it. Yeah.
got it.
Got it.
Makes sense. And not only that, Matt, we're still celebrating Keanu Reeves month.
Whoa.
So let's start with a fact about Keanu Reeves, shall we not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Today's Cinemajaw Keanu Reeves fact. Did you know that Keanu is a poet? Keanu Reeves wrote a book of sad poems titled An Ode to Happiness as a joke after a photo of him looking sad and eating a sandwich alone on a bench went viral. The book was illustrated by the Los Angeles artist Alexander Grant. Reeves and Grant went to Germany to work with renowned artist, books printer Gerald Steidl to publish 4,000 limited edition copies. About the book, Reeves said, "Hopefully, looking at this, you can come out of it and become objectively about what circumstances you're going through and maybe have a bit of a smile about it.
Well, at least he's got a sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, I think he is self-aware that...
Because I'll be completely honest, when that story began, I was laughing like I thought maybe he was a serious poet. No.
I think he's sort of got an idea that this is somewhat of a joke that he's going to write these poems.
Quick story here. Me and Ryan were doing C2E2 once back in the days, maybe even before Elias. Do you remember this? And we were in Artist Alley still, and we had a table, had our podcast set up and polling people as they walked by, and who should be across the row from us? None other than Shia LaBeouf. Right there at a table in Artist Alley at C2E2, directly opposite Cinemajaw.
And you say that because Artist Alley is very approachable. It's not like a large booth with a line. This is just a long strip of yeah, but it's a long strip of tables with just usually comic book artists, podcasters, that sort of thing.
It's very dense.
And then all of a sudden, Mr. LaBeouf.
And then all of a sudden, Mr. LaBeouf. And I don't think he was poking fun at himself with his foray into comics and poetry. But there he is, Shia LaBeouf.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I love getting these facts about Keanu Reeves. That's part of the fun of celebrating these different people every single month.
Yeah, people, aspects of film, we should
In fact, I was looking at one today on the internet, looking up stuff on Keanu Reeves, and I had no idea that at one point, going back, because it's been in development for so long, that at one point, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago, Keanu Reeves was actually attached to star in the live-action adaptation of Akira.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the movie should or shouldn't even be made to begin with.
I'm stoked.
But hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
I'm
interrupt
ready
you guys.
for this one, man.
No. Phil's
we've talked about-
Phil's an Akira fan as well.
I am absolutely an Akira fan, and this is a terrible idea.
No, this
is a terrible idea.
I can't wait, man.
You guys have talked about this before too. I know, Phil, you're adamant about them not making it.
I think that was one of the first things when I first met you guys. I said.
Dude, I think you're dead wrong. I've been waiting for the live-action adaptation my entire life, almost.
Well, different strokes.
Hold on. If you guys want, because we were going to talk about Zac Efron in a war coming up here.
Yeah.
We can throw that to another week.
Okay, so what are you saying? Me and Phil do a cinema war?
Why
I'll
not?
throw down.
Why not change things up here?
I will
I'm all
absolutely
for
throw
it.
down.
Ready?
Cinema War.
Wow. This is history, Jawheads. Never before has a cinema war went down that didn't take place between me and Matt. So
This is a first?
This is a first.
Wow.
First time ever.
We're breaking
Phil,
new ground, Phil.
I am very excited.
I'm
honored.
No
This is
pressure,
big.
but I have to defend Cinemajaw's honor, because in this case,
I'm not even thinking about it, but I have to play judge now. Oh, now I'm nervous.
maybe we should get an outside arbitrator on this one.
Wow, this is rough.
Remember when we used to go to the bar and grab a judge?
Here's what I
Time to
will
time?
say. I feel great because normally it would have to be me who judges, and now finally one of you guys can understand. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I completely understand. Ryan doesn't care, though. I don't think you would feel that pressure.
You also can't see the $20 I just gave him.
Is that what was going on under the table? I thought you guys were working on your secret handshake.
All right, one other order of business we want to take place at the top of the show here is last week Matt was the first Jawhead to imitate Keanu Reeves' famous line of "Whoa." And we said we'd go round robin and sort of take turns doing it. So this is my week.
Okay.
And I chose a different Keanu "Whoa." This one comes to us years later. You actually did it off of
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
years later. He refined that famous line of his in The Matrix to refresh the Jawheads' memories. This is what it sounded like in The Matrix.
Very subtle. It's like fine wine. He's sort of gotten a little more mature with the whoa.
So here I go.
Okay, let's hear it.
Small drum roll, Matt. Thank you. Whoa.
Wow.
Terrible, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's such a short word. I don't know how you could do it poorly. You just said whoa.
I don't think I sounded like Keanu.
I don't think you sounded like Keanu either.
And I was trying to.
Were you?
I'm really upset with
Did
myself.
I last week?
Can I have another shot at this?
Yeah, I say,
All right,
I say
give me
yes.
one. Give me one more.
Okay, let's go.
Whoa.
I think that one was worse.
I did too. That was more like Al Pacino. What the hell is
was.
going on? All right, last one.
All right.
Whoa.
Much better.
That was, yeah.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, okay.
But leave all three in, Phil. Hopefully everybody enjoys.
Yeah, I think they will.
Oh, man.
The Al Pacino one was my favorite.
I agree. Well, because what we have the luxury of is that we can see Ryan's face.
Yeah, he's cracking up. It's hilarious.
Oh, man. Good time. So, no guest, so we get things rolling with Eye for an Eye.
Yes, Eye for an Eye, John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. Super assassin John Wick is on the run after killing a member of the International Assassins Guild. With a $14 million price tag on his head, he is the target of hitmen and women everywhere. The film stars Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Lawrence Fishburne, and, also joining the fun this time around, Oscar winner Halle Berry. The movie is directed by Chad Stahelski, who also directed the first two John Wick films. Rye, we throw it on over to you.
This is really something special going on here because
It is.
I love that you get like a Keanu Reeves. You really never can almost know what's going to happen with the Keanu Reeves movie. He just recently, it was last year, I had this movie Replicas on my summer movie list. It got pushed to like a January DVD release, and it's just got panned. I haven't even caught up with it yet. So it could go that way, right? But you go back some years ago, same thing with John Wick. No one knew what was going to come of this thing. And bam, you have like a smash hit. Everybody
Well,
starts...
the first one's more of a cult.
Yeah, more of a cult hit, but everybody starts watching it. It gets a sequel, and it seems like everybody joined the fun in the theater. It grew, and that little circle of the world that we knew of John Wick in the first one expanded by about 5 times. So we got to see a lot more of the world building of what was going on in the John Wick, and it was intriguing to all of us. So now this whole secret world of assassins is, interesting. Let's see what's going to happen. Very interested in John Wick number 3.
Interested, first of all. But 14 million on John Wick? I mean, dude, double it, triple it. This guy is a cold killer, man. I wouldn't go near him for 14 million. Maybe 100 million.
And it does seem like he has that reputation too. So,
Oh, yeah, he does.
Phil?
I mean, absolutely, 100% interested. I think I'm excited because I feel like these movies in particular just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more over the top, which is a great summer fun. Who could want anything else?
Yeah.
And that Halle Berry's involved, I think, is pretty cool.
I guess, I mean, are they pulling like, not that Halle Berry isn't amazing, she is, but are they pulling like Bond girl type stuff by like getting like
I don't think so.
attractive actress
I mean,
involved?
I believe she's an assassin in the movie as well. So,
Cool. I'm down.
could be really awesome. I know this is going to be our review next week too.
It is.
So,
That's a little foreshadowing, Jawheads.
can't wait. Speaking of new movies, Matt, we actually hit Netflix one this time.
We did. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile. Netflix's latest original from true crime director Joe Berlinger is a telling of the media circus that were the trials of the serial killer Ted Bundy. Will this movie slay you, or is it just torture? Ryan and I headed to the stream to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been witness to the unspeakable horrors of the defendant's heinous crimes. You have seen ghastly injuries, smashed-in faces, broken jaws.
Will the defendant please rise?
For years, I've carried this guilt that I'm to blame for everything. If only I hadn't trusted you.
Promise you'll never leave me, Liz.
It's about another missing girl, isn't it? Ted, did you do it?
No.
I can honestly say that this movie is the scariest film I have seen so far this year. It achieves this not with gore or even cold verbal recounts of the crimes, both of which are used very sparingly when used at all. No, what makes it get under your skin, pun intended, is the chilling, accurate, and magnetic performance of Zac Efron as Bundy. The true life story paints the picture of a sociopath so classic that he's pretty much the source of all the commonly held notions about what psychopathy actually is. What makes it so scary is how effectively it illustrates the facts that these people can be your neighbors, co-workers, or even your lovers, and you would likely never even know. Efron makes you almost sympathize with one of America's most depraved murderers of all time, and that's an accomplishment. The film opens with single mom Liz on a rare date night out in the 70s. It's then that she meets the dashing and handsome Ted. He quickly steals her heart, and luckily for her, nothing else. Soon he's arrested for suspected kidnapping, and thus begins a series of court cases, escapes, extraditions, and media circus that surrounded Bundy over the next decade or so of his life. Liz, played by Lily Collins, is racked with guilt and doesn't know whether to believe Ted's insistence that he's innocent, even as the evidence against him mounts up. We all know where the story ends, but damned if I wasn't along for the ride, Ryan. At some moments, I actually had to remind myself who Ted Bundy really was, as Efron had me hoping that he really was innocent and that it was a case of mistaken identity. That's how good this performance is. My main detraction is only that they may have taken this likability a little too far and waded into glorification. But the final moments of the film do dash any redemption from the character. It does skirt that line, however. If you like horror or true crime, this is one of the better entries in a good long while. Just get yourself ready for the trip down the Ted Bundy Wikipedia rabbit hole. It ain't no wonderland.
I'm glad you brought that up because, yes, I hit Wikipedia on Ted Bundy almost immediately after the movie ended. I was overall a fan of this movie as well. Maybe I don't think, sounding by how enthusiastic you were there, I might not have liked it as much, but... yeah, his performance, Zac Efron, didn't know that he had it in him.
Right. Who did?
So very well casted. I think it was a very fine line to walk where you're right. They wanted to give you this idea that Ted Bundy, the character himself, had this sympathetic vibe about him, charm. Yeah. Somehow he wooed a lot of people into thinking that he was just innocent and very likable. And so they tried to showcase that, but at the same time, you don't want that to be the end-all result of the movie. You don't want to walk away saying, boy, I really feel bad for Ted Bundy. No. And so they do really at the end, I think they do give you enough reason to remind, hey, remember, this guy was a serial killer that killed at least 30 people.
Yeah.
At least.
Right. They do show one murder at the end, which I think was important that we see him kill somebody.
Actually do. I agree. But a couple of things was this relationship between Elizabeth or Liz, who's played by Lily Collins, and Ted Bundy is completely fascinating because he was actually dating this woman and was engaged even at one point while he was doing these murders, but obviously never murdered her.
Right.
And I wanted a little bit more insight if the filmmakers could have went into that route a little bit more. What was it exactly? And I'll start with that question over to you. Do you think it was the fact because this girl, Liz, does have a baby that is introduced to Ted basically on their first date? He walks in.
Or at least in the film. In
the film, anyways. And he walks her home, and the babysitter leaves, and it's sort of the first time it's mentioned she has a baby, and, Ted sees the baby. Do you think it was that? And if so, why did he care about this one particular lady losing, killing a mother, I should say, and he didn't any of the other times?
Right. No, I guess I did. I mean, this is armchair psychology here. I guess I did kind of wonder what the filmmakers were trying to say with that. Was he going to kill her, and then when he finds out that she has a baby, does he maybe think twice about it? Maybe they were trying to say that. But I also think that he needed a mask, and she was the perfect disguise for him. He can get into this relationship, and suddenly he's a dad. He's a middle American up-and-comer, going to law school. He's got a wife and a kid, and he looks even more normal. So that's, I think, why he needed Liz.
One other thing was there was obviously the wonderful movie Zodiac about the Zodiac Killer. One of the things that David Fincher was able to do with that was give the whole movie such a like gloomy atmosphere.
Yeah.
Where it creeped me out. I didn't feel that really existed in here. And I know what you're saying, that you were scared because you were scared of how chilling his performance was, that he could be a killer and be so nice when he's in front of you. That sort of gives you the willies, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the movie itself, maybe because it's a courtroom drama and with flashbacks to scenes, it isn't able to achieve that. But I wish it had more atmosphere in the movie.
That's fair. I think that's fair. It is a little atmosphere messy.
And we mentioned Efron. Lily Collins, also excellent as
Great.
Liz.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody else who pops up in this movie that needs to be mentioned is Haley Joel Osment.
Right.
Shows up as her coworker. And I have to say, talk about scary. I mean, he is a strange-looking adult.
Well, I think his eyes are a little too close together.
So he looks like he's still got this like little kid face that just got pumped up by like a basketball pump of air.
That's exactly
you know?
what it looks like.
It just looks like somebody just kept pumping him up full of air, and now he's like a fat Haley Joel Osment.
He might pop.
I don't know. It's just very strange looking. He wasn't supposed to be a grown up, I think.
I think that this happens often with child actors. I mean, take a look at what's his name from Home Alone.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, take a look at Macaulay. He didn't fare too much better. I think most adults don't look like they did when they were children.
Also in the cast, and I didn't even notice him, was James Hetfield of Metallica.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice him either.
And I was looking for him, and I couldn't tell who it was. I think he's just one of the sheriffs or security guards.
Can we mention Malkovich?
And Malkovich as the judge.
That took me out of the movie completely.
I agree. And then I actually watched some video footage of the actual court, because that was the other main thing that took place during this trial. This was the first time a camera was allowed in the courtroom.
Right.
So I was like, oh, wow, I'll go to YouTube and see if I could see any of this. And so I did, and the judge looked nothing like Malkovich. Like, you could see where they obviously tried to get Lily Collins to look like the girlfriend,
Right,
Efron
his other
to look
girlfriend.
like, everybody looked authentic, and then the judge just looked like John Malkovich.
Yeah, well, that's because when the casting director was like, "Oh, hey guys, we got Malkovich. He's going to play the judge. And you think he'll do makeup?" And Malkovich is like, "I'm not doing any makeup. Where's the gavel?
And
That's
that
all
was
I need."
it.
Yeah.
That was all right.
I mean, would you tell Malkovich to put makeup on?
No, I just let him do whatever he wants.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's break it down a little bit further. A favorite scene or element of this movie, Matt?
So the breakfast after their initial meeting, Ted and Lily have this breakfast with Baby. He's got her in her high chair with Cheerios and a bottle of milk, and she comes in thinking, "Wow, this guy's actually a sweetheart." I was a little worried for a second there when I didn't see my baby in the crib, but he's fine. He's made breakfast and he's great. It's so subtle though. He's holding a knife, just so, and he takes a step toward them with the knife in his hand. They never really call that out. It's just there.
Right.
I liked that a lot.
It's funny because my favorite scene steps a little bit onto that one, because there is a scene later on where she has a flashback of memories of times that Ted could have been
Playing.
And he could have maybe took it a step further and went violent on her. And in those flashbacks, one is him holding the knife, talking to her in that breakfast scene. And then there's another one when they're about to have some like passionate sex where he rips her shirt open. Mm-hmm. And she has this idea, after hearing some of the gruesome facts that were taking place that Ted Bundy did when he murdered these people, sort of that idea that he had her so vulnerable at this point, and that maybe look in his eye that went from desire to almost that maddening killer look.
Right,
and
the
he
desire
just
for love to the desire for blood.
Yeah, but he just didn't go there with her. It was like he was right on the edge, though. That's freaky.
It's very freaky. That is what I'm telling you, why I say this is such a scary movie, because I think they did that so effectively.
How about a problem with the film or an element that you didn't like?
I actually tipped my hand on this one. It's Malkovich. I like Malkovich, don't get me wrong, but it just took me out of the movie. There's Malkovich. It didn't make sense.
Mine, I hate the title of this movie.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it. And then I always, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, when a movie then has characters mention the title.
Well, that's from courtroom testimony.
Exactly. So this is from the judge, and it's transcript from the courtroom.
Right, it's in those YouTube videos you
Right.
watched.
And so he does actually say the title of the movie, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Vile. But
No,
I'm telling
you didn't get it right.
Yeah, and you could have came up with something a bit more creative. I
And
hate
what's
the
with
title.
the lack of an Oxford comma between evil and the word
no
and?
comma, right?
No Oxford comma?
So that, and then one other thing I actually had an issue with was I felt the tribute that they do at the end to Ted Bundy's known victims, the ones that they know that he killed.
Weak sauce.
Very weak sauce. I mean, it almost felt tacked on, not heartfelt. And if you're going to make a movie that's going to somewhat, in some way, like this does, glorify the killer, you got to be a little bit more, heartfelt with the tribute to the victims. I didn't like that. It just felt like, here it is really quick. And then, like, what? I don't know.
I
Maybe
really
pictures
thought,
or
yeah.
handle it a little more care.
I agree with you. I wonder if maybe they had trouble getting permission, from the families of the victims, and all they could do was just put the names in.
I know it sounds odd, but they put the names up all in just like one cluster on the screen, so it just all comes up. Even if they did it where it slowly showed each name, it's just a way
Maybe
to
you're
show
right.
it
You're
with
right.
a little bit more care than the way they showed it. It seemed so half-ass. Didn't like it at all.
I agree with you, actually. I really do. This, like I said, I think a lot of people are going to have trouble with this movie because it does skirt that line, and some people might find that it goes over the line.
Influences here, Matt?
The Bundy tapes. I mean, they got the permission for the Bundy tapes. This is kind of a 1-2 punch from Netflix on Ted Bundy. And then, I mean, it's got a touch of American Psycho, that guy who's trying to hold it together while he just can't control this impulse.
I went sort of courtroom drama where it looked back at a crime. I don't know why I picked JFK, but I did. And Monster with Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
So
that's a fair one.
What'd you learn here, Matt?
I learned way more than I wanted to about the crimes of Ted Bundy. And not necessarily from the film, but it's going to be almost inevitable that you're going to go down the Wikipedia. Just prepare yourself because they're heinous.
I was stunned that Ted Bundy actually escaped
Twice.
That boggles my mind. When you're talking about somebody that's wanted for such heinous crimes, to be able to literally escape, once from prison and once from a courtroom, seems just maddening to me how they let that happen.
Yeah, well, there it is.
How about a poster?
Poster quote, Zac Efron turns in a killer performance. It's kind of on the nose.
Okay. I went with Ted Bundy is scary, but not as scary as Haley Joel Osment as an adult.
Oh, come on.
He's
that is not
weird
fair.
Looking. He's weird looking.
Dude,
I'm telling you.
he's not that weird looking. He's a normal looking dude. You're just expecting to see the little kid from Sixth Sense.
Looks like somebody put a air hose on him and blew him up. I don't know.
Well,
All right. How many Jaws here, Matt K?
3 Jaws. I think it's a good movie.
I thought, like I said, you liked it probably a little bit more than me. 2.5 Jaws for me, but
It's chilling.
I recommend. Yeah.
It's haunting.
So, that was our review of Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Vile,
No, you got it wrong again.
Extremely Wicked,
Shockingly evil and vile.
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile.
Right, with no Oxford comma.
Oh, my goodness. If you've seen it, since it's on Netflix, write us your review, feedback@cinemajaw.com. Let us know what you think. All right. John Wick's coming out. We got a secret society of assassins.
Right, well, yeah.
And so we decided to do a fun top 5 list on our favorite movies dealing with or an element of a secret society. You want to get us started, Matt?
Yeah, I was wondering how you were going to segue from the Ted Bundy movie
Just got to jump right back into Wick.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Let's get away from that movie. All right, here we go. At number 5, I have a movie that is one of the strangest body horror movies I've ever seen. I bring it up occasionally because I think it's good. You won't like it, Ryan. Don't even bother watching it. Phil, I'm not sure about you either, frankly, but I know there's some JawHeads out there that like the Cronenberg type weirdness. This one's called Society, and it's
I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's not Cronenberg. Here's the thing. This kid starts to become paranoid because of circumstances that his family may be part of some sort of weird cult, maybe even a sex cult. And at some point in the film, he gets tapes that seem to portray in audio his family indulging in some kind of violent orgy. And so he continues to investigate. Weird things happen. People disappear. People are dead, but then they're back the next day. He is like, what the hell's going on? The whole movie culminates in one of the best splatter scenes outside of a Peter Jackson movie that I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I don't want to spoil it because some of the special effects are truly, truly special with bodies melting into one another. But at one point, he gets into a fist fight with one of these creatures, let's say, and he puts his hand up his opponent's butt, okay, and keeps going until his fingers come out of the guy's mouth.
That's disgusting.
And eye holes. He grabs the face from the inside, mind you, and pulls this person inside out.
Oh.
And that's the kind of movie Society is, Ryan.
Wow. Yeah, I'll take a hard pass.
It's awesome. It is straight up awesome.
What years are we talking? Can we throw that in the fish tank? What
I think
year
it's
this
like
came
80,
out?
88,
Throw
89.
it in the fish tank.
All right.
I mean, what kind of special effects?
Oh,
Decent?
yeah, all practical.
That's what I was wondering.
I mean, it was, God, I can't remember the guy's name. He's got a really strange name. Throw that in the fish tank, too. It's like Mad George something. The guy was pretty famous for doing a lot of special effects.
Wow. We switch gears hardcore here from your number 5 pick to mine. I don't know if you saw this one, and it's kind of a cheesy movie, but I enjoyed it on the level of the Secret Society, and it clearly was riding the coattails of a certain book turned into a movie that was a phenomenon at the time.
Oh, Harry Potter?
2004, the foolish Nick Cage teamed up with Jon Voight for the movie National Treasure. You remember this one?
Yeah, I do. That's the Illuminati, right? Is that the...
Well, it's the Freemasons.
the Freemasons.
Yes. So the idea is that the Templar Knights in England, somewhere throughout time had been collecting all of this treasure all around like Europe, and they gave it over to the Freemasons, and they moved it over to the U.S., and then the founding fathers of the United States actually knew about this treasure, and everything they sort of created about the country is in a way to, one, protect the treasure, but two, to give you somewhat of a roadmap to figure out how to find the treasure.
That's why they started the country, so Nicolas Cage can go on a scavenger hunt.
Exactly. So all of a sudden, 1 minute you think you're looking at a $1 bill. No, Matt. You're looking at a treasure map. The $1 bill has a big hidden meaning, and they explain that. And this is why I liked it. Granted, it's foolish at times, and it's Nick Cage, and it's foolish. But I love that kind of stuff when you see something like the dollar bill all the time in front of you, and then someone points something out, why that pyramid with the eye is on the back of the dollar bill. And you're like, yeah, why is that on there? You know, like you have that moment. And the movie does create a little bit of that. Like, well, why do you think it was built over in such and such state, say a particular monument? And you're like, yeah, why was it? And all of a sudden gets the wheels turned into like a fun adventure.
It's plausible. That's part of the reason why like a thing like the Dan Brown books work.
Right. That's what I was alluding to.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked the movie. It's stupid but fun.
My number 5,
All right.
National Treasure.
All right, fair enough. Swings it to me, and at number 4, this is where I have 2011 horror meta masterpiece, Cabin in the Woods.
I guess there's a secret society.
There is an entire secret society. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods by now, they think they're sort of, well, I should say the audience, you will think you're sort of in a normal Cabin in the Woods type horror movie where people are being picked off one by one, but it turns out there's more going on. And underneath this facility, this cabin in the woods, is a secret society of people that are trying to stop the end of the world. And they're not just in this one place. There's other gates around the planet, and they have to keep all the gates closed by sacrificing victims to it. It's been a little while since I've seen it, so I hope I'm getting all those facts straight. But the ending of the movie is just so sublime. And Sigourney Weaver turns up in just a great unexpected cameo. And the movie, not to go back to the Inside Out thing from my last pick, but the movie does sort of turn itself inside out in a way. It's just a great one. I love it. It's a
I was
cut
a big
above.
fan also. I wasn't thinking of it as a secret society, but you are right.
Yeah.
Secret group society. Yeah, I guess it works for you.
It's a secret society. They have their own structure. They have their own, they have office parties, for God's sake, Ryan. I mean, it's a society.
Pretty cool. All right, my number 4 is a smaller movie that came out in 2014. I know I have never talked about this one on the Jaw, and doing research on this topic actually was almost shocked that I haven't brought it up because I enjoy the cast. Britt Marling, Alexander Skarsgård, Ellen Page, and Patricia Clarkson. The movie is called The East. And The East is the name of the underground activist group. They're ecologists organization, and they launch several attacks against corporations in an attempt to expose their corruption. So the idea is this little secret society called the East is going up to corporations that they feel have wronged the environment or have wronged the human race by polluting the air or the water, and they actually do sort of like their own terrorist attacks on the corporations. So if it's a particular corporation polluting the air, they pollute that corporation office building.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're almost like anti-heroes because they're clearly doing something wrong and they're a little maddening, but their reasoning for doing it is righteous.
They're doing the wrong things for all the right reasons.
There you go.
Nice.
And
What's it called again?
It's called The East.
Nice.
And it's a good little movie. I highly recommend checking this one out.
Cool. All right. I got a good one at number 3. I've talked about this
Not
one.
as good as mine.
It's all right. It's okay, Ryan.
No, not as good as my number 3. You'll see what it is.
Oh, I see. I'm going with Dark Days at number 3. This is a documentary that our pal Charles Klein turned me on to way back when we weren't doing Cinemajaw. It's that long ago. And it's about a group of homeless people, and it's a documentary, who live beneath the streets of New York City in an abandoned subway tunnel. And this filmmaker got crazy access. I mean, he's down there in these horrible tunnels with these people, documenting their life. The bucket they need to use for the restroom, and their sleeping conditions, how they cook, how they steal electricity, how they get food, these types of things. It's like amazingly fascinating. It's shot in black and white, and I've never seen anything like it. It just sort of opened my eyes that there are little secret societies, these pockets of people who live sort of off the grid. And now every time I go down Lower Wacker, I'm looking in the crevices and corners, and I see the tents, and I know that
they are there.
They're there. But this one was particularly harrowing and strange in that they were out of the sunlight altogether. And just they would literally crawl through manholes like they were chuds. It was unbelievable.
Turns into the movie The Descent in a way, right?
No, it has a happy ending, believe it or not. It's a worthy spin. I highly recommend it.
Wow. Again, hard change of the gears to my number 3 as I go, very funny movie. A comedy at my number 3. Leave it to Edgar Wright to team back up with Simon Pegg, Nick Frost. Hot Fuzz. And the secret society here is the Neighborhood Watch Alliance, better known as the NWA. And, of course, if you've seen Hot Fuzz, who hasn't? There are some just ridiculous death scenes that take place in the beginning that are quite hilarious. And then to find out the reason for these killings is that the NWA, it's got even a funny name of the town that they are representing, or village in Hot Fuzz, throw that in there. But the village had won like the Neighborhood of the Year award.
And that's why they're defending their award.
Yeah, so now they're killing people who they actually think may hurt their chances on winning the award again. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
So you get that feeling as the movie opens up that there's this secret society of evildoers behind the scenes wreaking havoc just so that they can win Neighborhood of the Year award.
It's sort of that's the exact plot of what's that Christian Slater movie where he plays the proto podcaster? I'll Pump Up the Volume. Mm-hmm. They're kicking the bad kids out of school so they can get their test scores up.
Right.
Same thing. All right. Swings it over to me, and at number 2, I think we have to talk about this movie because it's a real life secret society, and I don't know that any other. Well, there's another one, but this one may be of the two the best one. I'm talking about the Skull and Bones secret society, as portrayed in The Good Shepherd. This was a movie about the birth of the CIA, and it stars Matt Damon, Angelina Jolie. It's just bonkers.
It's directed by Robert De Niro.
It's kind of a slow burn. It's a little bit more Tinker Tailor than it is James Bond. But I also think that might be giving it a little bit too much credit. This wasn't a huge hit.
No, it wasn't a great movie by any means.
But I enjoyed it. Maybe it's because I like a good slow spy movie. It's not a terrible movie. I think maybe it's time for a revisit.
But I don't know that much about that secret society.
That's
Skull
what
and
makes it so
Bones.
cool. So it's a Yale secret society.
Right. Because we're doing the research for this podcast, I was reading a little bit about it, and I was a little intrigued because I was like, maybe if I knew a little bit more about this secret society, I would have enjoyed that movie that much more.
Right. Well, so a lot of the world's most powerful people were Skull and Bones members, and it's a scary one because it's real. So that's my number 2.
My number 2, speaking of Dan Brown, he loves these
Oh no,
secret societies.
are you really?
And maybe it is because I did have the chance to travel over to Italy, and then I rewatched the movie. I'm going with his second film.
You
It was actually
Philistine? Are you serious?
It was actually the first book, 2009, Angels and Demons.
I mean, I would have forgiven the Da Vinci Code a little bit, but
Angels
I mean,
and Demons.
no. Tom Hanks does not have a mullet.
You mean Robert Langdon?
No, I mean Tom Hanks. This horrible pick, dude.
So-
At number 2,
My number 2.
that's dime store trash.
I love you got a new pope being picked. They got the conclave going on, and I already like the mystery of that. And the secret group here is the Illuminati.
Right.
Right?
Which is probably the biggest secret society.
Right. So that's intriguing. And the premise here is that 4 cardinals get kidnapped, and the Illuminati say they are going to kill one cardinal every hour between 8 and 12. And then at 12, they're actually going to detonate a canister of antimatter. And it's basically going to wipe out Rome. Again, I think maybe part of the reason why I like that is the fact that, okay,
How did you just say all that with a straight face?
because I read the book, I saw the movie, and then being over in Rome and seeing the places, it makes it again part of, this could be real. Wow, Dan Brown has a great way of going to these churches, looking at these monuments, figuring things out that would intrigue people. Maybe it could be out there. You could see it. Yes, it's a stretch, but it's a fun stretch to go on.
I would say not Angels and Demons. The other one, the Da Vinci Code, is the better of the two by far, man.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think this one works better as the Secret Society.
Okay.
That's why I went with it.
All right. You were saying that was going to be better than my pick? Or that was your number 3?
No, yeah, my number 3, Hot Fuzz, was better than yours.
Hot Fuzz is pretty damn good.
Yep.
All right, that's
All right, here's our number
We're into
ones.
our ones.
Number ones. And I know we didn't cross over, so this is good.
So I'm going first, yeah?
Go ahead.
All right. My number 1 is, well, I can't talk about it, Ryan, because that's the first rule. Fight Club.
Wow.
I mean,
Pedestrian pick, but okay.
is it a pedestrian pick?
Yeah, I think
we're
most
talking
people,
secret societies.
I know, but I think most people listening to this podcast, as soon as we said secret societies, thought Project Mayhem.
Phil's wagging his head. No, he didn't think Fight Club. Listen, the thing is, we've talked about Fight Club in a number of ways, but it's often overlooked that what it really was a cult. It was him building this army, this secret society of followers, and they have to go and execute Project Mayhem, and they bring down the credit card corporations while the Pixies play at the end. That's a part of it that we overlook. And I think that was an important part of it. Everyone's so focused on the fighting and Tyler Durden and all that stuff, you sort of forget about Bob and, their relationship. Not to mention Jared Leto.
Glad it came up.
Yeah.
My number 1 pick involves an assassin who is really good with a pistol, can shoot a lot of people. A secret society of assassins.
Is Meatloaf in it?
A secret society of assassins. Car chases, ridiculous action, a lot of fun. Well, you almost think I'm talking about John Wick again, right?
I would think that. That's what I'm thinking.
2008, Angelina Jolie in Wanted.
Boo, man, boo.
You've never seen the movie. I know you haven't. I've asked you to watch this movie
I read the
and
comics.
time again.
I read the comics.
The movie is quality, man. You got Angelina Jolie, James McAvoy, Morgan Freeman, Terrence Stamp, the evil dude from Zod and the original Superman 2.
Okay.
So it's a secret society of assassins, just like we're learning in John Wick.
Except they can curve bullets.
They can curve bullets. The secret society is called the Fraternity. James McAvoy plays a guy who doesn't know that he is the son of a great assassin, and he has this ability to harness his adrenaline that makes his brain and his abilities and strength and all this move so much faster than everybody else. It's a great movie, and it's a Chicago movie on top of it. They shot the whole thing here in Chicago.
All right, I suppose I should see it before I completely bash it.
It's just fun, is what it is.
No, I mean, I did enjoy the comics.
My number one, Wanted. I'm sure there's some Wanted fans out there. Any honorable mentions?
I got a
for you, Matt?
slew. I have a slew of honorable mentions. I was thinking of them as we were talking. Dead Poets Society, right away. Should have put that one on my list. Rosemary's Baby would have been on my list, but I talk about it a lot. The neighbors are secret Satanists. I think that was very, very paranoia-inducing. Harry Potter, I made a joke about it, but it's true. There's a secret society of wizards when he goes into the alley and he taps and all the bricks step aside like he walks into a whole new world that he didn't know was there. The Institute, remember that documentary? I love that documentary.
I don't know if that's a society, though.
Kind of is.
It's more like a game being played.
Well, sometimes that's what it is. And then at number 11, so it's kind of a weak film, but the book is really good. The Stepford Wives.
I agree with you. Weak movie. But the concept is pretty neat.
Yeah, but Christopher Walken.
Other ones that we missed were the Adjustment Bureau.
Oh, that's a good one, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
So you got the secret society that basically makes sure that everything goes as planned. Right?
Right.
Pretty cool concept.
Another Matt Damon.
Yeah. Again, the concept, I think, probably better than the execution of the movie, but I had fun with it. Eyes Wide Shut, I talk about it all the time. Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, that's more cult-like. And then who can forget the secret society of the Crossed Keys in the Grand Budapest Hotel? There's a quick montage of all the different key keepers of the different hotels of Great Europe. Hilarious Wes Anderson moment. One of his best quick gags and taking a poke at the secret society in general. It's wonderful.
Okay, I'll have to give that. I still haven't caught up with that one.
It's a great one. If we missed your favorite film about secret societies and you don't mind telling us the secret, write us feedback at cinemajaw.com, or if you have Twitter pulled up, shoot us a tweet at cinemajaw. What we're going to do is take a break, and when we come back, first time ever in the history of Jaw, Matt is taking Phil on in Cinema War, dealing with Akira. Plus, we're going to talk to JawHead Sean and play some movie trivia. Stick with us.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
And now, Keanu Reeves and Gary Busey have a moment in the classic 1991 film Point Break.
This car doesn't have AC. It was a scorcher.
Sweat secretions in the seat backs.
Are you through, Mr. Wizard? Let me know if you find Jimmy Hoffa under the seat while you're at it. Oh, look at this. It's 7:30. Why, the night is still so young. The way you're going, you're going to be able to solve this case and start another one, huh? Drop the car on my ass. Damn.
You've been working bank robbery, what, 22 years?
Yeah, 22 years. Man, L.A. has changed a lot during that time. The air got dirty and the sex got clean.
Uh-huh. So a guy with that kind of timing must have some theory about these guys.
Leave it alone, Johnny.
Okay, fine, you've given up. Fine. It doesn't mean I have to.
Hey, listen. Forget about it, kid. They are ghosts.
Yeah, of course. What am I thinking? If you couldn't crack it with all your years of experience, it's impossible to conceive that I might have something to offer, right? Well, maybe I can do better than some over-the-hill burnout.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Maybe you ought to just take some early retirement right now and get some rent-a-cop night security job. Tell Nam stories.
Listen, you snot-nosed little shit! I was taking shrapnel and K-Son while you were grabbing it in your hands and rubbing it on your face!
You mad?
Yeah, I'm mad!
Good and mad!
Yeah, what do you want to do about it?
Feels good, doesn't it? Like you're still alive, right?
Yeah!
Well, since you're still alive and you're not in the box just yet, why don't you tell me this theory of yours and we'll go get these guys?
Okay, hot shot. You want to nail the bank robbers and be a big hero?
Definitely.
Definitely. Then here it is. The ex-presidents are surfers.
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 Candy, so let's all go to the lobby to
Hey,
get
JawHeads, it's Matt Kay with a quick announcement. The Chicago Critics Film Festival is happening once again May 17th through the 23rd at the wonderful Music Box Theater. The festival will open with a screening of St. Francis, a Chicago set film by Alex Thompson and Kelly O'Sullivan, both of whom will be in attendance, and closes with Paul Harrell's Light from Light, starring Jim Gaffigan, who will also be in attendance. Guys, that is just the tip of the iceberg. Danny Boyle's Yesterday is going to have its premiere there as well, and it is always a fantastic time with amazing, unprecedented access to filmmakers, stars, and all kinds of interesting discussions, panels, Q&As, and things like that, in addition to their wonderful lineup. If you want to know more or get tickets, we encourage you to go to ChicagoCriticsFilmFestival.com. They got the skinny. You can buy your tickets right there. And we hope to see you at the festival. Cheers.
to get ourselves a treat.
And we are back on Cinemajaw. Hope you enjoyed that wonderful clip of Gary Busey and Keanu Reeves.
I mean, how could you not, right?
Love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's funny because he's so calm, cool, and collective in the John Wick movies. Just hearing him screaming at Gary Busey there was awesome.
Yeah, he rarely goes for the over the top Nicolas Cage type range. He always sort of plays it close to the vest.
Got to watch that Point Break again.
Me too. That might be his best movie, right?
Oh, come on.
I mean, what do you got? You got the John Wick movies,
Yeah,
Matrix.
The Matrix.
But as far as performance goes, I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Performance. He's actually given some good ones in smaller movies too, like my Own Private Idaho.
Yeah, Scanner Darkly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. Definitely a good one though.
All right, Matt. Before we get to trivia, we get Sean on the line, and before we get to the cinema war between you and Phil, this is really going to be an interesting end of the show. We did throw some items into the fish tank, and I know Phil wants to swim up to the top. Let us know what we missed. Let's open up that fish tank.
Wait a moment! It's fish! Isn't it?
DC! Wake up! Wake up! No, Pat, it's a giant glass bowl. Hey, get some fish folk.
Who's coming with me besides Flipper? Here.
That's a Sicilian message. It means Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hey guys, how's it going? Real quick while I'm out, I would like to disclaim something specifically to Matt, and it's that I feel like I may be in the middle here. I've read both the comics and seen the movie of Wanted, and I don't think the movie is that great. So just to validate you, Matt.
Wow.
I mean, you're not alone, Phil. You know what I could do? Hang on a second here.
No. What are you doing, Matt?
I'm looking up Wanted on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. I'll stand by mine. I know when I've watched a good movie. It's got to be pretty decent.
I think like the cutting, the editing is like just a little bit too snappy for me.
I'm pretty sure it's rotten. Here we go. It's 71%.
Nice.
Certified fresh.
There we go. I told you.
Only 69% of the audience liked it.
But how many of them read the comics?
Yeah.
You know? Graphic novel is really good.
I was right again.
Anyways, we'll get on in. So our first question that we threw in here today, it was a two-parter. When did Society come out, and who had done the special effects? So the film came out in 1989, almost the 90s. And the special effects, Matt, you were right. It was done by, his name is Screaming Mad George.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, you were screaming away. You had Mad George. He did a lot of other films too, but the biggest ones that I saw at least were Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, there you go. Right there alone.
Predator.
Oh, come on.
Right, yeah. And then there was like a couple of other like horror movies, specifically sequels, because he did. Yeah. That was, by the way, Rye the movie guy. That was not Keanu Reeves.
I know,
did not
it's
edit
tough.
that in.
I've been practicing it the whole break while you guys were away. I dropped about 30 of those.
It's tough to tell the difference at this point.
So our next one, what is the name of the town in Hot Fuzz, and what's the joke about it? Right, I think maybe there's something I'm missing. The town's just named Sandford.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
I don't know if there's something I'm missing. I did remember the other running gag throughout is that he comes from London and they keep calling him Sergeant Angle instead of Angel, but that has nothing to do with the town's name.
Dude, I haven't seen Hot Fuzz in a long time. I got to revisit.
I love that movie.
We should just do the entire
Simon Pegg,
yeah,
Edgar Wright movies.
Right. There's a name for him. The
It's like the ice cream. It's not
Yeah,
Neapolitan.
it has something to do with
but-
with the ice creams.
Yeah. Anyway, anything
Was
else?
that everything?
Yep, that's all we got.
Oh.
Wow, jump back in that fish tank.
Oh, well,
Will
why
do.
not leave him out?
I know, because it brings us to
Cinema War.
And Cinema War works like this. Phil and Matt are battling on a topic, and I, Rye the movie guy, am playing judge and jury, and we'll tell the Jawheads my honest opinion on who I think won this Cinema War. It's important because we're fighting for 20 seconds of jaw time to rant and rave on whatever these two want to. Now, we were talking about Akira live action, and Phil is adamant about the fact that he does not want to see a live action adaptation come to light. Matt, on the other side, would love to see a live action adaptation come to light. Let's let this Cinema War begin.
Phil, I have been a fan of Akira since 1988, and I'm so tempted to use the Gary Busey line right here, but I won't. A full 5 years before you were born, this cyberpunk proto-classic belongs to my generation. We are the fans that this live-action film is being made for, and we will break the box office. It's a great idea from a financial standpoint.
So let me start my argument with something that everybody can agree on universally, and that is that the 1988 version of Akira is a cinematic masterpiece. Here's where I'm going to get belligerent with you, Matt. There is no modernization or remake of a cinematic masterpiece that has ever been needed or ever been good. They just remade Ben-Hur in 2016, and it was terrible. Vince Vaughn ruined Psycho in 1988. What's next? Are they going to remake 2001?
Actually, it's really funny that you make that point, because I hate the idea of a sacred cow. Ideas are meant to be explored and extrapolated, and if we did not, we would never build on the knowledge that came before us. And just to answer your question, we can remake movies like A Star is Born and build on that story, adding new layers of meaning, and I'm excited to see where Leonardo DiCaprio and Taika Waititi can take this story. Tetsuo!
Kaneda indeed, Matt, because here's my thing, right? Transitioning from animation to live action really limits the visual expression that a filmmaker can use. There are certain abstract concepts that work really beautifully when they're animated, but then trying to put them in real life just makes them ugly and not real. Probably the most memorable part of Akira is Tetsuo's transformation scene. Just imagine the crappy CGI monster with really stretched out and ugly skin texture wrapped around a real-life skyscraper and the people awkwardly acting around it instead of working with a real thing. It's going to be terrible.
No, actually, I think it's going to be great. Can't wait for that scene. After 2 disappointing entries, nobody was excited for another Thor movie. Lo and behold, Thor Ragnarok was a smash hit and universally praised. So what changed? Taika Waititi, the odds-on favorite to direct the Akira movie. Frankly, I would watch anything from this guy, but Akira, sold.
Okay, and my next point is a question, right? Have we not had enough of these live-action remakes already? Just the other week, Cinemajaw had its summer movie preview, and not a single person was excited for the other live-action remakes coming out, Aladdin and Lion King. I have my own feelings on this, admittedly, but I think this statement applies to everybody that a lot of us just want a new story. We don't want something that we've already seen.
All right, but this ain't Disney, okay? And it's been over 30 years, Phil. The animated classic stands. It never had a crappy sequel. It will not be tarnished by a live-action take. So let's see it. Get over your fears. Get over your fanboy insecurities. Frankly, Just like Alita Battle Angel, you will love it.
Here's probably my biggest point, and it's not even against it being live action, but it's just that the industry making this film is a little corrupted in and of its own, right? And it's that Taika Waititi, while an amazing director, this is quite frankly not his story to tell. Akira, the original manga by Katsuhiro Otomo, is a story about Japanese people taking place in Japan and about Japan. I love Taika Waititi, and I agree with you completely, but there are so many talented Japanese-American directors or Japanese directors who are underrepresented and more deserving of telling this story, and they're choosing not to. Just let us have this.
Woof. We're butting heads here on Cinema War. Ryan, what did you think of this argument?
This was some Cinema War, let me tell you.
Your head was on a swivel.
Yeah,
We're going back and
hats
forth.
off, gentlemen. Hats off, because I went in. It's tough to just be completely unbiased. You go in, you think,
Right.
I think I'm going to lean this way, but let's see what everybody has to say. Phil comes out of the gate strong, so I'm like, oh, God, this is Phil's, But then Matt brought up some really good points, and I love Taika Waititi. He's great, and what a talent. And I have come around on the fact that, yes, you can build off of original art. I know I'm very strict on this idea that, hey, some things shouldn't be touched. I do believe in sacred cows, but now I've been opened up to the light that, yes, you can grow off of that to some degree. But Phil's last point.
Yeah, that was a good one. Damn it, why didn't you
really
go first
good.
with that point?
Because I took a high school class once.
And I think putting that all together, you have a masterpiece here that is a Japanese story. And it's animated so beautifully that really, as much as yes, I'm okay at times with a remake that may shoot it into a new direction that we weren't thinking. I don't think it needs to be done for this in particular, and I don't think it needs to be Hollywoodized. It should stay in the hands of a Japanese filmmaker. I think that was the best point. And because of that, I give Phil the win.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations, Phil.
I feel honored. It's validating to know that I'm right. And don't email. This is the one time I will tell you not to email at feedback@cinemajaw.com. For my 20 seconds, I will go over, because I do love Alita. And just to break down, I'm not contradicting that point about it. Because the Alita...
It was never an anime?
It was, but it wasn't that great. Like the anime, it's not like anything to take home. It's really just a different way of delivering the same story. Also, I did mention this in the Jaw that we reviewed it. Alita does take place. It's impossible to whitewash that story because it takes place in actual Kansas. But that was a great film, and I think that's like a kind of like a pop-off exception. I don't know if that's something that we can expect from Ghost in the Shell was terrible.
So are you going to go see the Akira movie? Because it looks like it is going to happen.
I mean...
Or are you going to protest?
I really don't know. I probably would protest. I'm not going to see Lion King, so...
Oh, I'm not going to see Lion King either. I am going to see Aladdin, though.
On a couple of these, early on when they started doing these remakes in somewhat rapid fire and I was getting disinterested with them, what I would do is the weekend that it would open, I would watch the original at home. And I felt justification. Like, all right, hey, that's it. I'll watch whatever they were remaking. I'll watch the original at home and let, the masses be asses.
Well, hey, an excuse to rewatch the original dubbed version of Akira is always...
Or subbed. Or read the manga, because the manga is even longer.
The manga's like a stack of telephone books. It's ridiculous.
I bought it on Blu-ray a couple of years ago, and I haven't opened it up yet. So I'm dying to finally give it a spin in the screening room.
Wow. I think it's on all streaming too for JawHeads. I know it's on Hulu. I'm 99% sure it's on Netflix.
I just can't listen to the new voice cast. I love my original voice cast from the 80s.
See, here's what I will say. The second voice cast featured one of the guys from Digimon, and that's all I hear now. So if I watch the second voice dub, for anyone who watched the Digimon series as a kid.
Who's that big voice actor? Mercer, isn't he in it too?
I don't remember.
Beats me, man. Beats me.
Okay.
Epic war. Phil wins. I mean, he's 1-0. You might as well just retire now and just be undefeated. Good times.
It'll happen again, Phil.
Yes. All right, Matt. We always like to end Cinemajaw with trivia.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned at the top of the show, this is always exciting. One of the things we offer if you answer our riddles correctly is a chance to take Matt K on in trivia. And the March riddle winner, it took us a little while to get him on, but the March riddle winner was Sean Verma from Tennessee. And he said, yeah, I want to take Matt on. And not only that, he's going to bet Matt K something personal here. Let's get Sean on the line. Sean, welcome to Cinemajaw.
Hey, guys. How are you doing? Nice to be here.
Doing well, man.
Looking forward to this, Matt.
I'm looking forward to it, too.
Yeah, it should be fun. I researched that the bet a fair bit as far as what you could put up. So this should be good.
So let's tell the JawHeads about this bet, because we emailed back and forth saying that we will have you on to take Matt on in trivia, and you responded with an idea to bet him. What exactly? What were you putting up as your bet, Sean?
Well, when Matt picked, I guess when you guys selected me as the winner of the March Riddle, Matt mentioned that I should get you guys some of the fine Tennessee whiskey that we get in Nashville. So I figured I'd put up a bottle of Tennessee whiskey, fine Tennessee whiskey, if Matt manages to beat me. And Matt would put up something that's sort of trademark Chicago, which is a brewery in Chicago called Koval, vodka from there. So this should be good.
In all honesty, my first gut reaction was to give you a bottle of Malort. But I think that's like a lose-lose.
I lived in the Midwest for a while. So
Have you had Malort?
I have. I went to school in Michigan, took lots of road trips to Chicago. And yeah, it is more punishment than reward. I concur with your assessment.
That is true.
Good times. Sean, when we have the chance to talk to the JawHeads like this, we do like to ask how you discovered the podcast and how long you've been listening to Cinemajaw.
How long have I been listening? Probably for a better part of about 2 years now.
Wow.
Fairly long time. And yeah, I mean, how did I discover Cinemajaw? I mean, I really enjoy I'm a cinephile. I watch a lot of movies, and really what I was looking for was podcasts that matched my interest. And Cinemajaw, at that time, I don't know if it's still true, but had the tagline of the greatest movies podcast. So
absolutely,
I was curious, and then I heard you guys, and I really enjoyed the show. And since then, I've been listening along every week, actually, pretty religiously.
Great to hear. Thanks so much.
Honored. Thank you, Sean. That doesn't mean I'm going to take it easy on you in trivia, though.
Ooh.
I want that whiskey, dude. I want it.
Good stuff.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So in honor of John Wick, we are playing movie titles with the main character listed in the title.
Title, character, trivia.
Title, character, trivia.
There you go, right?
You like it, Matt?
Yes.
All right.
Very succinct.
Sean, you listened to the Jaw, so you should know, but I'm going to give you the rules anyways. You're our guest. You get to choose if you want to go first or let Matt K go first. There are steals, and if you get hung up on any question, you get one trip into the fish tank for Fill Me and Phil. How do you want to play it here, Sean?
I'll go first because I think you guys give the easiest question first, so we'll see how this goes.
Absolutely. And Sean, you should know that all the JawHeads listening right now are cheering for you to beat Matt K.
I'm cheering for him, honestly.
All right, question one over to Sean. Tom Cruise played Jerry Maguire. What actress played Dorothy Boyd, who he fell in love with?
Renee Zellweger.
Sean is on the board 1-0. Question two jumps over to Matt K. Tom Hanks played Forrest Gump. Who played Lieutenant Dan?
Gary Steppenwolf, Chicago, Sinise.
All right, so we get the easy ones out of the way here. Question number three, back over to Sean. In 1997, Johnny Depp, Al Pacino, and Michael Madsen starred in this film about a New York mafia family.
Oh, great movie. Donnie Brasco.
2-1, Sean. Everybody perfect. Matt, see if you can keep it rolling here. In 2007, George Clooney, Tilda Swinton, Tom Wilkinson starred in this movie about a fixer. Name it.
Clooney and Swinton, huh? About a fixer? Michael Clayton.
Nice.
Wow. All right. 2-2. This is big. Question 5, back over to Sean. In 2006, Kirsten Dunst, Jason Schwartzman, and Rip Torn starred in this Sofia Coppola film. Name it.
Kristen Dunst, Jason Schwartzman, and Rip Torn, Sofia Coppola. The only thing I can think of is
Character, title, movie trivia.
I'll go to the fish tank.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'll go to the fish tank.
This is big. Into the fish tank we go. Phil, what was the name of that 2006 Kirsten Dunst, Sofia Coppola film?
Alrighty, Sean. Your clue this week. Let them
It's
eat
Marie
cake.
Antoinette, isn't it? Yeah, it's Marie Antoinette. I thought of it. I got it.
What was the clue, Phil? Let them eat cake?
Let them eat cake.
Yeah. That's a giveaway.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Hey, he has burned his lifeline here, Sean, on question 5, but he did get it correct. It's 3-2, question 6 over to Matt. In the year 2000.
What year?
The 2000.
Which one?
2000.
Good job.
All right. Julia Roberts starred in the movie Erin Brockovich.
Uh-huh.
Who directed that film?
Are you kidding me?
Hint, he won an Oscar for a different movie that same year.
Okay, who directed Erin Brockovich?
Right.
Who also won an Oscar that year?
Yeah. For directing a different film.
What year? You said the year.
Wow. The year 2000, you goofball.
Oh, yeah. Can you say the year one more time? Boy, I have
Who directed Erin Brockovich?
I don't know. I'm going to go to the fish tank,
Wow,
too.
back-to-back fish tanks. This is huge. Phil, help Matt out here. Who directed Erin Brockovich?
Alrighty, Matt. So your clue this week. The other film he won for was Traffic.
Does that help Matt K out at all?
I've seen Traffic. I liked Traffic a lot. I really like Traffic.
He directed Erin Brockovich and Traffic in the same year and won the Oscar for directing Traffic. Who was this man?
Was that actually Stanley Kubrick? It was Stanley Kubrick.
Incorrect. We might have a huge breakthrough here.
Big swing.
Sean, it is 3-2, and you can steal this one. Do you know who directed Erin Brockovich?
And Traffic, Steve Soderbergh.
Wow. Big swing here. 4-2, Sean. 2 questions left. He can wrap it up here with question number 7. Sean, in 2009, Michael Caine plays a retired Marine who seeks revenge against local drug dealers. What was the name of that movie?
Oh, my God. 2009, Michael Caine.
A retired Marine seeks revenge against local drug dealers. Name it.
And this wasn't Batman, The Dark Knight. It's the only thing I can think of. Okay, I pass. Not well versed in Michael Caine movies.
Incorrect, Matt. You got a chance for a steal and to crawl back into it. It's 4-2 currently.
All right, so I know the last name is Brown, and I can't think of the first name. It's not. I want to say it's Michael Brown, but that doesn't sound right to me.
So much on the line here.
Yeah.
Bottle of whiskey, a bottle of vodka.
Is it like Lefty Brown or
4-2, Sean.
Something Brown.
You got 5 seconds, Matt K.
Michael Brown. Damn it! What
That
is
is incorrect.
It's something Brown, right?
You were damn close, Matt. Harry Brown.
Harry Brown.
Wow, that gives the win already to Sean. But we do have one last question, Matt. Question 8: Billy Elliot, the beautiful film about a boy wanting to be a ballet dancer, came out in the year 2000. Who
Really?
played Billy Elliot?
Harry Brown. It was Harry Brown, or was it Michael Caine?
That is incorrect. Sean, Do you know who played Billy Elliot?
A really good dancer. No, I have no idea who played Billy Elliot.
Wow.
I'm happy. Thank you, Sean, for not knowing that one.
Hey, it was Jamie Bell. Jamie Bell.
And what's he done since?
Oh, he's made a name for himself.
Oh, has he?
Yes, he has.
Okay, and what?
He was in Les Mis. He's been in a few things.
All right, name one more.
He was the Thing in the bad Fantastic Four movie.
All right, there you go.
Was he really? I don't think so.
He was.
Really? We'll have to look at it.
We did have a jawbreaker if it came down to it. It was this. Better Adam Sandler character title film, Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore? Matt?
Billy Madison.
I would have gave that to you. It is Billy Madison. The real jawbreaker is age of Sofia Coppola, closest to. Matt, you got to guess.
I think she's just about my age. I'm gonna say she is 43.
Lock him in at 43, Phil. Sean, you got to guess?
She was in The Godfather 3, right? 43 is actually pretty reasonable. I think she's a little older, though. Probably, let's go 51.
We'll give that one actually to Sean, believe it or not.
Really?
47, but she actually turns 48 on May 14th.
All right.
So, happy birthday, Sophia.
Happy birthday, Sophia.
Sean, you win this one. Congratulations.
Awesome. I'm excited for my bottle of vodka, Matt.
Hell yeah, man. The Koval. It's really good stuff, and I hope you enjoy it.
There's a chance you may be in Chicago, huh?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll shoot you guys an email and we'll plan it out from there.
We'll figure out the logistics. But from all of us here on Cinemajaw, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing along, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
That was great, wasn't it?
That's fantastic, man. Love it.
Good
Love
times.
it.
Even though you lost in trivia, I see a smile on your face.
I had fun, man. I lost the war. I lost in trivia, but you know what? I didn't lose this evening because I'm doing cinema job. How about that for some sincerity, huh?
Absolutely. Brings us to the end of a great cinema jaw.
Yeah, can't even talk anymore.
First and foremost, we got to thank the man behind the glass, Fill Me In, Phil.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much. I haven't had a plug in a while, but I am excited this week. I'll make it as quick as I can. As you guys know, a lot of you know, I like to draw and I like to animate. I am officially starting, so I will have a Twitch stream started where I animate and draw. It's at P-Chan Art. I have a link in there. It's a little clownfish, PChanart, and it would be super cool if you guys watch just to see how I make some of the stuff I make.
Oh, I'm going to watch. I'm going to troll you in the chat. Going to put all kinds of dirty emojis in there and stuff.
There are a few things that would make me happier.
I will totally do that.
Matt, we also got to thank our sponsors.
Yes, thanks to Overcast and the Chicago Podcast Co-op who help us get awesome sponsors like them.
Yes, also again, a shout out to JawHead, Sean Verma, who took you down in trivia. Thanks for calling in, Sean. Total blast.
It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I love the JawHeads.
I do too.
A lot of fun.
I hope more of you guys out there listening will choose to play trivia. And who knows, Ryan? Maybe we'll kick it over to you. You can be the contestant one day.
Maybe.
I mean, Phil's doing Cinema War, cats and dogs sleeping together, mass hysteria.
Absolutely. Until next week, I'm Ryan, the movie guy.
I'm Matt K, and keep on jawing about the movies.